Mr. Prime Minister, ministers, mayors, dear participants of this Fin-Est-Link conference. Thank you very much for this opportunity to address you, mainly in my role as national coordinator for the EU strategy for the Baltic Sea region. When this EU strategy, the first of the presently 4 macro-regional strategies of the European Union, was initiated more than 10 years ago, the main concern was the environmental status of the sea itself. The first protagonists of the EU strategy were active members of the European Parliament, like Thomas Hendrik Ilves and Alexander Stubb. They asked the EU to pay attention and contribute to the saving of the sea. But there was also another argument to mobilize the common resources of the EU to benefit the Baltic Sea region. Since the 3 Baltic countries and Poland had joined the EU, the Baltic Sea had become more or less an internal sea within the European Union. And this region was seen as having great future prospects, but first, the differences in economic development between its western and eastern parts had to be overcome in order to tap the whole potential of the region. The main goals of the EU strategy for the Baltic Sea region are save the sea, connect the region, and increase prosperity. Under the goal Connect the Region, the sub-objective is to improve internal and external transport links. This is especially important as the distances internally to the rest of Europe and to the wider world are long and the conditions for traffic often difficult. The region, which is located in the periphery of the economic center of Europe, depends strongly on foreign trade in goods and needs well-functioning transport infrastructure to achieve economic growth. Furthermore, the action plan of the EU strategy for the Baltic Sea region states that national actions are not enough. And even bilateral cooperation does not provide necessary solutions. Wider regional cooperation is needed to overcome transport bottlenecks. Many of the planned major infrastructure projects only make sense if you look at them from a macro-regional perspective. And according to the action plan, the main challenge regarding transport development in the Baltic Sea region is to reduce its remoteness by improving links within the region and to the rest of the EU. Links are also needed to overcome the infrastructure shortfalls of the eastern and southeastern side of the sea. The building of Rail Baltica and its extension by the planned railway tunnel between Helsinki and Tallinn would be an opportune and strong answer to these challenges. It would not only benefit our 2 countries, but bring a lot of potential for growth in whole Europe. Rail Baltica and the Helsinki-Tallinn fixed link combined would truly contribute to fulfilling all 3 main goals of the EU strategy for the Baltic Sea region: save the sea, connect the region, and increase prosperity. With the already existing Öresund Bridge and the Fehmarn Belt connection under preparation in the western part of the Baltic Sea region, in the north, the improving of the connection between the Finnish and Swedish railway systems around the Gulf of Bothnia, and the potential railway to the Arctic Ocean. And then in the eastern part, the Rail Baltica and the Helsinki-Tallinn fixed link, the Baltic Sea region would be effectively connected internally and beyond its borders. According to the newly adopted Baltic Sea region strategy of the Finnish government, our region is a natural development platform for completely new, faster modes of transport. Our strategy sees the connection from the northern areas via Helsinki-Tallinn tunnel and Rail Baltica to Central Europe as a vision worth working for. It would also bring real European added value. Within the policy area transport of the EU strategy, there are many flagship projects serving the same goal of effective networks. The project's North Sea-Baltic Connector of Regions, NSB Core, the Scandria II Act about the Scandinavian-Mediterranean route, Tackle, the corridor catchment areas, EMMA, which is about inland waterways, and E12, which is about cross-border areas in the north, are together building a truly multimodal transport system to our region with a strong bottom-up approach but with a close link to high-level policy making. The next phase of the now concluded FinEstLink project would certainly be a mega flagship, proving our citizens the tangible value of the Baltic Sea and EU cooperation. Finally, I would like to convey my heartfelt congratulations to Estonia on the 100th anniversary of your independence and the amazing progress your society has made within the couple of decades after your liberation from the Soviet occupation. That is something one can only admire. This courageous, ambitious plan of a connection uniting our capitals in a 30-minute railway ride is a promising perspective for the future of our countries and for the future of the Baltic Sea region and Europe. Thank you.